brought to you by The Vault.
Hi, I'm Shy.
And I'm Kathy, and this is our Girlfriends Talk Show where each week we have fun and we spill the tea.
Or the wine. Be sure to find us wherever you listen to your podcast and follow us on social media.
So last episode, I want to go ahead and put it out there. I apologize because I had drank a little too much before I came.
Yeah, really, the title of the show needed to be What Happens When Shy Drinks Too Much.
And I think, like, segment 2, I said a few too many things that I shouldn't have said. Hit ass.
Why? What was wrong with that?
No. I mean, I just said it over and over, and I mentioned a few names that I probably shouldn't have mentioned. And thank you, producer, for your editing skills. All right. So, here we go. Let's get to this episode.
I don't know. None of these people that we're about to talk about, except for either you or I, maybe, qualify as a head ass.
No, they are the opposite. They are badass women.
That's right. So, the question of the day is, do you know any BA women?
Besides me.
Oh, yeah. Besides
me.
you, sorry. Actually, your fiance takes up all the BA in your house.
No, she don't. We're like equal. We're equal in everything. We're equal BAs.
Okay. All right. Well, so we asked some of our friends to give us some show prep, right? Some content. Because when we were struggling a little bit. And one of our really good friends said, how about mentioning some rogues, rebels, and renegade women?
Now this is like right up your alley.
Oh, yeah.
This is totally up your women's activist rights.
I'm not an activist, but I will tell you I am a feminist. There's no doubt about that. So I don't like go and burn bras and like picket and stuff like that.
But I feel like you would have in the 70s if you were...
Maybe.
I
might have.
You'd have been one of those.
I definitely will sign online petitions and share things.
And share her opinions.
Absolutely.
Loudly.
Because it's ridiculous that women are not... that we don't have parity with men at this point.
I agree.
And so that'll come later. But anyway, just to let you guys know, way long time ago, guess what? Until 1920, women didn't even have the right to vote. And it was because we were lesser than men. We were not smart enough to vote. So a whole bunch of women got together. They were called suffragettes.
Suffragettes?
Suffragettes, yes. Okay. And now suffrage was it was a global movement. The United States was just a little bit behind everyone else. You realize that, right? Anyway, so only been able to vote for 99 years. Now, even before that, though, there were some super BA women that were doing some amazing things out in the world. Mm-hmm. And what I got to do was research some of them because, I mean, you think about, like, the people that you know, like Bonnie Parker.
People you learn, like, in history books. But there's so many
Amelia
more.
Earhart, just kind of those
Joan of Arc.
Yes, yeah. She met a horrible demise, but yeah, she was a BA. There's no doubt. So I found some women that were doing some stuff you might not have heard of their name.
Okay.
But the stuff they were doing was amazing.
Give them to me.
Okay. So have you ever heard of Kate Warren?
No.
Okay, well, let me tell you about Kate. So before women could vote or even join the police force, all right, so they couldn't do either. You couldn't be a policeman or a woman, and you couldn't vote. She was she was hired as a detective, and that was in 1956. She went undercover on many different cases and wormed out secrets in places that would have been impossible for a male. I wonder how she did that.
We get a lot
Turned on a little feminine charm. Maybe she used the grapefruit technique. Who knows? She actually helped defeat a plot to assassinate President Lincoln during his inauguration. So, unfortunately, you know how he ended up passing away. Evidently, Kate wasn't around at that time, but she was and foiled the first assassination attempt.
Well,
so, think about this. If he would have been assassinated at his inauguration, how different the world would be right now. So we can thank Kate for that. So hats off to you, Kate.
Badass woman. Number 1.
This person is my favorite. Her name's Nancy Wake. She died when she was 99 years old. She had been a nurse, a journalist, a socialite, a British agent, and a French resistance leader during World War II.
Wow.
A French resistance leader. And they got overtaken by Nazis, right? She led thousands of guerrilla fighters Not gorillas, but gorilla, Gueri.
I'm glad you specified that. I didn't.
Yeah, that's why I did that. Thousands of guerrilla fighters in battle, and she even strangled a Nazi guard with her bare hands. Strangled him to death.
That's pretty badass.
That's right. She once said, this is my favorite, there wasn't an egg to be had for love nor money. Even if there had been, why would I be frying it? I had men to do that sort of thing.
Because they were accusing her of, weren't they accusing her of having some kind of relations with, and that's why she released that statement?
No, I don't know anything about that.
And
Maybe
you told me
did more
that
research.
You told me that yesterday. Actually, that's how I know.
When you were drunk?
Yes, I remember things more when I've had a little bit to drink. All right, so a few people that I've researched. Now, one name that you're going to know really well is Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
They just erected
Erected?
let's see
How many
we
times can you say that?
They erected a statue of Rosa Parks the other day, and anyway,
Where was it
quite
erected?
significant woman. I don't know. I didn't get that far, but it's erected in the U.S. Quite a significant woman. Now imagine this. Let's take you back to the year 1955. Okay, segregated buses. So she gets on this segregated bus. She goes to sit down. They stop at another bus stop. This white lady or white person
white
gets on
man.
the bus, and the white section is full, so they ask her to relinquish her seat for the white person. She says, hell no. Head
think
ass.
she said that?
I think that's what she said. So
She thought it.
what did they do? They took her to jail. They
Yep.
arrested her, took her to jail. From that point on, she was still, hell no, head ass, for everything. I'm not doing it. That ain't the way it's going to be. She lost a job as a seamstress
Yep.
because of, her very vocal, hell no. And she also got many, many death threats. So she kind of suffered after this whole ordeal pretty much her whole life because of that. And she's a well-known
Activist.
equal rights activist,
That's right.
which is pretty cool.
Love her.
Another one that I researched, and I tell you what, I knew of this lady, but I didn't really know extensively what all she's done. Miss Ruth
Bader
Ginsburg.
Ginsburg.
I was trying to remember her middle name.
She is the RBG.
She is pretty
She's amazing.
badass.
There's
RBG,
a whole movie about her.
Notorious RBG.
Yes.
Yes.
She is my hero.
She's pretty awesome. Huge woman activist. I mean, when she came in, she was second after Sandra Day O'Connor to be a Supreme Court judge.
Justice.
And justice. And she has done a lot for women's rights. A lot. And actually,
Even before she was a Supreme Court
I didn't want
justice.
to. I didn't want to forget any of this. Anyway, she has. Let's see. The court. She is actually one of. Hang on. She performed, and this is something that you're doing. She performed and officiated a same-sex wedding.
Excellent.
One of the first.
Wow.
Yes. Believed to be the first Supreme Court justice to officiate a same-sex wedding.
Excellent.
Performing it back in 2013. Cool woman, badass woman. right there.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Super,
All right.
super cool.
Well, speaking of badass women, you're looking at two or listening to two, and we want to tell you our badass stories.
Well, I mean, don't you think we should wait and do that segment too?
Exactly, coming up.
So we'll take a break right now and come back with our badass
We'll pour more
stories.
wine. We'll see you in a minute.
I'll be a real one.
Hey, you! Yes, you, watching or listening to this amazing podcast hosted by two of the most dynamic and brilliant women you'll ever meet.
Advertise with us and watch your business grow as big as our heads.
Seriously, hit us up at vault.news/contact and find out how affordable you can advertise on our show.
All right, so we're back, and we promised you some pretty badass stories of our own.
I mean,
Right,
I had to
Kathy?
kind of dig back in the coffers. I'm going to let you go first.
I'm good.
I had to
mean,
actually remind you what your BA story was, though.
Yeah, but what you reminded me of and what I'm about to tell you guys is pretty much what I've done my whole life.
Well,
Half my life. So I don't really look at it as being badass. It was just called surviving. But
but I mean, you
You-
could have gone a completely different way.
you being married for like 99 years is pretty badass.
I got 99 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass. That's something that I don't know if I could do. I mean, I'm
I've really only been married 23 years, so it's not like
99 years. So anyway, let's get into.
I mean, it's a life sentence, but
it's pretty serious. I mean, I've been with her through some pretty bad times, and those times I would have said, I'm out.
You've been with me?
Yeah.
No, that's true.
I'm out the door. And I've even told her, get out the door. Go now. And she's like, no, I took a vow. Okay. That makes her pretty badass.
Took multiple vows. Anyway, would you please pour me some more wine?
Yes, sorry.
Thanks for reminding me about all those. Because right now I'm on a hill. I'm on the top of the hill, so I know exactly where it's going from down.
You're stuck now, 99 years.
No, I'm just talking about like the cycles of the relationship. It goes up and down. So I'm up right now. You know where it goes from there. I got a bedroom at your house. That's all that matters.
Yes, she does.
I did tell your fiance that I would help pay the mortgage.
Well, add about 3 more days to your already extended stay, and then you'll start paying the mortgage. All right, so some badass stories. Well, as I was saying earlier, pretty much survival for me. I've got a really bad picker. My picker was broken.
Your picker was massively broken
Massively.
when it came to picking men.
Yes, and the 2 that I picked were
No bueno.
terrible.
No good for her.
Terrible beyond measures.
But then not only did she pick 2 bad ones, but she married and remarried both of them.
Because I'm not a quitter, I'm a badass. So, or a dumbass. So when I was 19 years old, or 20, I went through my first divorce. I had 2 children. I wanted to go to college, but I was working to put my then husband through college, and then we were going to switch out. Mm-hmm. And that didn't happen because he had found something a little sweeter down the road, a little sweeter berry, and went to go chase that sweeter berry and left me and his children. And
who were, what, 2 and 3 at the time?
2 and 3. Mm-hmm. So that left me there with no vehicle and
I'll tell y'all, I have to
children.
see that human in Kroger every once in a while. And you know what I want to do? Have you ever gotten your cart, like, run up on your, like, the back of your heel? Every time I see him, I want to just go, bam!
He frequents Kroger a lot.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, that was...
Probably looking for a sweeter berry.
He was. He was.
At Kroger.
Pretty sad, sad story, but something that I kind of lived throughout the next, 15 years, because the next husband kind of did the same thing. I was just older and actually had a decent job then and could kind of go on about myself. But my bank account has been completely swiped out by both 4 different times. So I've started with 0 4 different times. Had to find a place to live, had to take care of 2 children, and make it on my own and go through college. So
it's pretty BA.
I can't really pick just one story, because it all just kind of mashes together. But it was really ultimately my mistake for picking the same type of person.
It could have gone a completely different way.
But thank goodness I had a little bit of Rosa Parks, hell no, head ass, and a little bit of what's her name? Ginsburg.
Mm-hmm. And I think maybe a little bit of Nancy as well.
Yeah. And I was going to try
to have a man cook your egg.
Regardless. I was going to keep going. I had to keep going. I had 2 kids, and at the time, now I have 3. And the oldest 2 are fine. The oldest graduates college in a few days.
Yep.
And my other one has her own successful business. So we did well.
You have a 14-year-old that's probably going to propagate the world.
He's going to make me a grandma before my oldest, too. Unfortunately.
And then you'll be a real BA, right?
Yep, because then I'm going to, I'll probably be in jail. All right. So, Kathy, besides you being married 99 years.
That doesn't make me a BA.
Yes, it does. Give me another BA story.
No. So, honestly, when I was thinking about it, the only thing that I could think of when I was about 24, I had a 1-year-old. I just started my own professional job, and I was living with my parents at the time, and my dad was diagnosed with colon cancer. So I was 24, my sister was 22, our brother was 18. My mom completely fell apart, and we were a very super close family. My sister and brother were not married. My sister was going to school in Baton Rouge, I think, and my brother was at home. And so I ended up having to try and figure out how to work full-time, have a 1-year-old that my mother was babysitting, and she couldn't, and keep our whole family together when my dad went through cancer treatment. And that was a pretty significant 12 months. I grew up super fast. I learned a lot of good stuff and bad stuff about my family. I also learned how to react and not react the next time my dad got sick. So we made it, and it was all good. It's pretty
survival.
BA.
Another survival story.
Well, I mean, no, because I could have gone the completely other way. I could have just like given up.
We both could.
I could have
And
quit
then
my
where would we
job.
be?
I could have.
So
yeah.
that takes me to the next thing. Everybody listening or everybody watching has a choice. You can either go the weakling way or you can go the strong, badass way.
So
you've
the
got
weakling,
a choice.
Where the weakling way is like what I like to refer to as the real life little puss way. So
And we have some of those stories too.
yeah, I mean, because you can't just be a BA all the time. You can't just be a Nancy.
It's very.
Every
I'm
minute of the
sweating
day.
right now. I mean, it's very hard to be
So-
a badass all the time.
Shy, why don't I'll tell my little puss story first.
Okay, please do, because I don't have any.
You have them all the time.
Was there silence? Will you just tell your little plus story?
You already know it. So a few years ago, when Shy and I were working on a radio show together, we had this big promotion, and it was shooting with the Q Crew.
I didn't know you were gonna go this. Okay, this was a
I've only shot
serious puss story.
one gun in my whole life before this story, and it was an M16, and it was in a military science class that I took in college because the instructor was super hot. And when I mean really hot, I mean hot enough for me to take a military science course and try and rappel
shoot a
down a
gun.
tower and shoot an M16.
Apparently, I wasn't hot enough this day. Whenever you shot a gun,
Well, I mean, I hadn't touched a gun since then. So it was, I don't know, fast forward 25 years. So I'm like, all right, we, qualify all these people. We're going to this great range. And I tell my husband, I'm like, I need one of your guns.
Kathy and I are doing this as a radio promotion, so keep that in mind that it is recorded and people are going to remember this for a little bit.
It's very unfortunate. So anyway, I said, I need one of your guns. So he says, I can't remember which ones they were. I don't know. The one that he gave me ended up looking like a Yosemite Sam gun. Like
Yeah.
it was like a a big, long, like revolver thingy. And I was
it
like,
said "pow" real loud. One of those.
it literally looked like Yosemite
And when you go
Sam.
"pow," like your arm goes like this. Pow.
Anyway, he was like, okay, so this one is not going to kick as much. There's not going to be any cartridge that shoots out. I'm like, oh, good. It's great. So I was like, you got bullets? And he said, yeah. So I take this thing in a box to the place. And it was embarrassing because...
She starts shooting.
Well, no. I mean, I took it out of the box. And the guy that owned the shooting range, he was like...
He's trying to help you.
What are you going to
really.
do with that? And I said, I'm going to shoot that target with it. And so he was like, I don't really think that's a great idea. And I was like, I got bullets. I got 3. I had 3 bullets. I was like, I'm going to have like 3 shots and that's going to be it. And he was like, that's not the philosophy of this whole thing. You're supposed to like shoot the target. And I'm like, I'm going to shoot 3 bullets and that's going to be it. So I put the bullets in the chamber, close the revolver, and I look at Shy and I'm like, well, one of the people that was there, she cut her hand. And I was like, oh my God.
And so blood's coming out because she cut her hand because the little thing came back on her. I don't know anything
The
about guns
shell.
either.
It was a shell.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like, she's bleeding. And then I'm thinking, oh my God. And the gun was really heavy. And I was like,
She's holding it.
no, I look at Shy and I have tears in my eyes. And she was like,
It's like coming down.
not cry.
Stop
And
it.
I was like, okay.
It was so embarrassing.
Oh, it was
I was
horrible.
like, suck it up, Kathy. Stop it.
God, y'all, it was so bad.
I am. Pow, pow. Oh, my God. And she just kept crying. It just kept getting worse.
And I had headphones on, and every single time a gun would go off, I was like,
I had to get her out of there.
so I shot my
Horrible
3
experience.
my 3 bullets, and I went and sat down, and I was
kept
done.
crying.
I didn't cry. Never.
You cried a little more.
A tear never came out.
Catherine,
It never came out. It was
only call her that when she's not good. All right, my little puss
My
story.
little puss story.
I mean, isn't near as epic as that. I'm just scared of ghosts. That's it. So, that's all.
No, you're not even scared of real ghosts.
No, there are, Kathy, there are real ghosts,
No,
okay?
you've
And I don't even
never
want to talk about it
Had
down here.
an encounter with a real ghost.
In this, yes, I have. In this vault where there are supposedly ghosts, I'm not talking about it because you don't bring those things to
Yeah, we
me.
do.
No, you don't.
Hey,
So-
there's a ghost around.
No,
Come
there's
see
not.
us.
So I'll give you one story. My girlfriend and my son decide that they want to go to a mausoleum that is close, and they've been
I'm
telling
gonna
me
do a
stories.
cemetery tour.
They've been telling me about this mausoleum.
Actually,
and
you're
apparently,
gonna go with me. You made me go shoot with you.
there's one that's a little open or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, that's so cool." First off, that is not cool.
There was a mausoleum open.
Well, just like you could see a little bit in it or whatever.
Oh, cool.
I don't know. There's stories
very
about
cool.
it. No, that's not cool at all. That's horrible. Do you think if I was dead laying there that I'd want people to come and look at me?
Well, I mean, you're not. You're there.
If you came and looked at me when I was dead, I would find
I'm
you.
gonna look at you.
No, you're not. I can't even talk about this without. Anyway,
You're gonna find me? Yay!
no. Stop. So anyway, they take me to this, and she was like, we were on the highway, and she's
I
like,
want
we're
you to
going to
find
this
me.
mausoleum. I'm like, no, we're not going. No, we're not doing that. And I thought she was just joking with me. I thought she was just joking with me, but she wasn't joking with me, Kathy.
Oh my God!
She said we're gonna
and you're
go.
making fun of me because I'm scared of a gun.
Ghosts are real.
Guns are real.
Gun you just shoot. People.
You shoot people?
No.
That's how people
that-
become ghosts.
So she turns off into this graveyard, and the mausoleum's at the very back, and I start freaking out. Like, I'm thinking about taking, like, the wheel and, like, turning it and just, like, going crazy. But I'm like, no, then we'll run into a grave and one will come out. So we kept going to the back, and they got out.
Is that how they get out?
Yes. They got out. No.
The ghost got out?
My girlfriend, April, and my son got out. And I hurried up and I locked the door. I don't know why, because the ghost... See, this is why I just didn't want to go in there. This is not funny. Anyway.
It's funnier than my dumb shooting story.
I just don't even want to talk about it anymore. So, okay. Well,
so if you guys really want to trip us up, bring us a gun and a ghost and we're done.
we're out. We're out of here.
Or ghost with a gun.
I will not be Rosa Parks and be like, hell no, head ass. I will not do that to a ghost.
No,
I'm
you'll
just going to
fall down.
run. I'm probably hold my breath and die.
All right, so I have a really good Urban Dictionary word of the day.
Thank goodness.
Okay, so there were multiple definitions. She cried. Your makeup off again. I mean,
I can't help it, Kathy.
a tear never dropped out of my eye when I had that gun.
Yes, it did. I saw it.
And remember, then I got the 9mm, and it was actually easier, but then the thing shot out of it, and I didn't like it.
Move to your Urban Dictionary. I don't want to talk about it
Anyway,
anymore.
I redeemed myself a little bit, and I was a pretty good shot. Like the 5 that I got off, the 3 revolver bullets, and then anyway, I'm not shooting anybody. Just by the way,
I'm not ever going to go to a mausoleum. So,
how
all
about
right.
a cemetery tour?
No, Urban
Okay.
Dictionary word.
Of the day is renegade. So this is the Urban Dictionary version of the definition for renegade.
Okay.
When you make the only guest appearance on a rap album and kill the album artist on his own shiz. Like when Eminem renegaded Jay-Z on the Blueprint album. You remember that? Mic drop. That's a renegade.
That's a renegade. So we just talked about some major renegades, and they're going to throw Eminem in the mix?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jigga Man.
And Jigga Man. All right. Well, country word of the day. Let's talk about some heathens. Because that's what my dad would call me. My mom and dad would call me a heathen. I was a hell-raising heathen.
What did that mean?
Well, let's see.
You're a renegade?
I was a renegade, rebel, rogue.
Rogue.
Yes. That's what that meant. That meant that I was just
meant you
destined to
wouldn't
be...
follow the rules.
No, I did not follow the rules. I was like Rosa Parks. Hell no. Ain't doing it.
Until
Go
it
wash the
came to
dishes.
somebody
Hell
trying to
no,
impregnate
head ass.
you.
I ain't doing that.
You didn't say that.
No, I didn't.
You just ran away.
I did. All right. Well, that wraps up episode 12.
No, we have our girlfriend tip of the day. I want you guys to go check out an Instagram page. It's called Equality Can't Wait. Okay, it's pretty cool. If you're a chick, you should be all about it. If you're a dude, you should be all about it too. Because for the most part, you know, you either have a mom, you love a mom, or you want a mom, right? Mm-hmm. So moms are girls usually. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so the World Economic Forum has predicted that it's going to take 208 more years before women in the U.S. will actually achieve gender parity.
Well, that makes me mad.
That's not okay. Do y'all know what that means? That means it's going to take 208 more years for women to get paid as men do, for women to have the same opportunities as men do, for women to be able to do the things that we're supposed to be doing.
So what can we do on this Instagram page to help
you need
it?
to follow it, and when there's actionable stuff, you need to check it out.
Awesome.
Equality can't wait on Instagram. No way it should take 208 years. So you know what actually you should do? Run for Congress. That's what
Run
you
for
should
any
do.
kind of office.
Yeah.
Put women in every office.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. All right. Well, that completes our episode 12. And thanks so much for listening. If you're just listening and you haven't watched us yet, find us on Vault News.
Vault.news or YouTube.
Or YouTube. Or vice versa. If you're watching us and haven't just listened in your vehicle, go to Spotify or your Apple iPhone. Very easy. Hit the podcast button and you'll see us.
And until
Girlfriends Talk
next
Show.
time, stay solid and stay girlfriends.
Stay a renegade.